Here we are in the kitchen, you guys. My favorite place to be as long as I'm not cooking. Painting. I haven't painted for a few days, maybe even a week. I've been super uber busy, you guys. I'm trying to answer questions as promptly as I can. I know I'm kind of not doing so well on that either. So let's bloom. Let's, just because I'm so stuck on blooms. So we're painting on it's a wooden board. I'm not sure what this is. It's bamboo. It's from the dollar store, has a whole handle here, and I think it's some sort of a barbecue board because that's what section it's in. It's in the barbecue implements, but they're really, really nice to paint on. They're super, super cheap for one. This was like $3.50, and the bamboo is a really nice, soft, like smooth surface. So when you're buying these little decorative boards and things from Walmart, they're like pressed plywood, and they don't always paint as nicely as you think they're going to because they're just kind of glued together, and sometimes you kind of get what you pay for. But these are quite nice because they are all finished. So I have taped it off on an angle, and my goal is to have my paint on an angle like that. When I take it off, then I'm going to stain it and varnish it and just make it all pretty. I just did one of these for a girl at work. Only I did it a little bit differently. I did a skin, and I poured my skin first. But tonight, I'm actually going to try to bloom directly on this. And worst case scenario, it doesn't work, so we just take it off. Now my colors. My colors aren't going to be super exciting. And what am I going to do? Am I going to do like maybe a deconstructed bloom? I'm talking to myself. Okay, quinacridone, nickel, azo, gold. And I'm going to do 3 blooms. I know it's overkill, but I don't want things all out of proportion, not out of proportion, but I don't want them all kind of worked out and weird. So I'm just doing 3. That's just what I'm doing. This is a combination of TLP's Harvest Gold mixed with a little bit of golden ochre, just to give it that really pretty mustardy gold look. And then this is a little bit of Jaquard Interference Red. This is a little bit of Folk Art Copper. It's a little bit of mess that I didn't intend on, but we're going to just go with it anyway because that's what I did. And then this one is Atelier Indian Red, which is kind of this really pretty dark, like a mulberry color. I quite like it. Okay. What color are we going to do this with? Maybe white. That man seems to know as soon as I video. He's out there banging around. All right, white cell mix. Okay, headshots. Paint in the hair. So, you can tell how out of practice I am with a terrible blowout. Okay, here we go again. Whew. So I have a feeling that my white cell mix is actually US Floetrol. It's certainly not moving the way Australian Floetrol moves, but it's okay. Let's got to do something with this one though. All right, well, here we go. Now let's mess it all up, you guys. We're going to swipe it out in a whole bunch of colors. So this is kind of a really dark plum. I didn't use it in the pour, but we're going to put a swipe of this color right through the whole thing. This one. Maybe here. It's quite dark, isn't it? It's quite pretty. See me thinking, I'm thinking to in my head. Okay, let's add some more. Let's add some gold. Let's do it with the paper. Just adding a little bit of texture, you guys. Okay, then we're going to put some black swipes through it as well. All right, let's, I don't know if I have enough room to spin it. Nope, no spinning allowed tonight. All right, so we're gonna tip it and tilt it. So for this particular board, I didn't tape my edges. I'm gonna try the paint off the edges thing, but I no guarantee that I'll keep it because it's not really something I like. I don't like messy edges is what it is. So if the paint is not perfect, I won't keep it. I'm just gonna stretch, stretch, stretch. Okay, Let's just add some paint to the spots that I've missed. Well, luckily the spots that I missed are all white. Just turn this around a tiny bit. Should we modify this, you guys? We could. I need to take a little tiny bit. I need a little bit of paint there, and I don't really want to go dumping white because this is so pretty. So I think I'm just going to tip it a little more. Try to bring some of that pretty reddy pink color off the end. Did we do it? Did we do it? Okay, quick wipe up. Okay. Should we modify, you guys? Let's do it. Okay, let's do it. My indecisiveness. Okay, first modifying tool is a toothpick. And we're just going to make some little lines just like this. Just gently putting it down and dragging it through. Tidier we are now, the tidier the final outcome. That's just a kind of a given. I'm using a spoon because that's what I grabbed. Makes the same little lines. You don't need a popsicle stick. You don't need anything fancy. You can just use this little spoon. I don't know where to go. Where to go, where to go? Gotta turn you guys around. I like this plum color. I wasn't too sure about it when I first put it down, but it's actually quite pretty. So contrasting lines, as always, contrasting lines will always yield a better pattern and design, but it's not necessary to have the contrasting lines. You can just modify any part of it you like. So this section right here had a few little air pockets that just popped up and left those horrid white blotches. So we're just going to work them into our design, and nobody even needs to know. Just like that, we'll make it disappear. This is fun right here. I don't really want to wreck it. So just making lines, guys, that's all we're doing. And these ones aren't. These ones are just drawing some of that white paint from underneath. We're just bringing to the surface. Easy, easy. Okay, let's do our little chain thing. Touch down, bring it up. As long as you touch both sides of whatever's on the opposite, both sides of the white in this case, then you get a really nice, pretty, crisp, clean line. And if you don't, I've said it many times before, you know what, then just roll your spoon, whatever you're using, just roll it back and forth until you can touch both sides. So let's put something in here just for fun. I don't think that was it. Okay, my favorite tool. I'm gonna do some little curlicues. Again, we're just gently putting our swizzle stick or our kebab stick down into the wet paint, and I'm raising it up as I go. And if it doesn't hold shape this time, just go back in. 20 minutes later, 20 minutes, half an hour, you can go back in and do it again. Give it another half a twist. I can't do this with gloves on. I can't do this with gloves on. So this particular piece is a bit of a trial for me on this board because I have a lady at work, a resident at work that has absolutely nothing on her walls and no family, and it's a long story and it's her story, and I'm just kind of not going to get into it, but she has seen some of the paintings that I have done, the little tiles, and asked if I would paint something for her wall. And she really likes the purples and turquoises and those colors, which are not really my colors to work in. So I thought I'm going to try something like this on one of these cheapy boards and just kind of see what kind of result we can come up with, which I'm sure will be no different than painting on a tile. Flat surface is a flat surface. And then I'm going to maybe try to do one in turquoise and blues and those colors for her wall. Come up here, add a few more. I swore I wasn't going to do any more of these sort of heavily modified pieces. But they're so fun. It's fun for me. I get myself like just totally lost in my paints. And it's a nice place to be after working all day and looking after baby and coming home. It's a good place to just kind of chill out and just kind of tap into something fun and creative and just make something pretty. So I stopped in at the restaurant today that displays some of my pieces, and it's always interesting to me what sells and what doesn't sell, because this time I had one of my favorite all-time transfer swipes in there, and I thought for sure that it would sell, and with it I had some pretty wild pieces that were just heavily modified and just bright abstracts, and those were the ones that sold, and my pretty gentle, nice quinacridone and beige pieces didn't sell this time. So I thought, well, that was meant to be because they look awesome on my kitchen wall. So I brought them home. But I took baby with me to the restaurant, which was a first for me, and it was very quiet, luckily, because she's very quiet and reserved, but today she was just a chatty patty. So the lady in the restaurant was really nice. She sent us over some French fries, so baby had some fries and licked all the ketchup out of the little dipping container, and then the waitress came over and talked to us and left her cloth on the table, so baby immediately took the cloth and started swamping tables, wiping them down. And there was another family in the coffee shop, and she went and stood and stared at them like they were to get out of the table so she could wash it. She was really quite funny. I sent my daughter a picture of her covered in ketchup with a little caption that said, "What happens with grandma stays with grandma," because she was a mess. All right, you guys. That's pretty exciting. All right, I think I'm going to stop right here. I'm just going to make sure that my edges are all covered well, because that will be my thing, is if my edges aren't painted out and covered nicely, I won't want to keep this. And then I'm going to put you guys on hold, and I'll bring you down for a close-up. And I tried to remember as many things as I could. The TV's not on. It's quiet. It's hard. It's hard to be me, you guys. It's hard to remember all these things. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for pouring with me in the kitchen tonight. You guys are awesome. I'm going to try to get another video up in the next little while. I have a couple fun projects coming up, all experimental, of course, and we will see what happens. All right, guys, put you on hold and then I'll bring you down. Okay, we're back off of hold, and then we'll creep down. So now you can see all these pretty little things. So I'm going to knock the light off on this camera, and it's going to change colors, but it's going to be pretty close to the same, or the correct colors. Here goes. All right, a little bit darker. My camera won't focus when the light lock is on. All right, there you go. Look at all these gorgeous little details. So this chain right here of color, this is our black cell mix, and the little leaves and the decorations on the leaves, that was the white cell mix. And the white cell mix was US Floetrol, and the black was Aussie. So there you go. So these little curlicues, some of them I might go back and just kind of tighten up a little bit. And 20 minutes from now, I'll let the paint set up. This one right there, you can see it's less than perfect. So that will need some attention. All right, my friends, pour happy, stay safe. Thank you so much for hanging with me in the kitchen tonight. You guys are all wonderful. Bye for now, guys.